Hello to all my beautiful souls out there. This is Tina Marie J, and I am here with another video. I will not be uploading videos every week, and I might not even upload every 2 weeks. I may begin uploading every 1 to 2 times a month. I have a lot of other things I'm working on right now that I need to put a lot of time into. I love this channel. I'm still very dedicated to this channel. So when it comes to me leaving religion, it's still a very bumpy road. It's a bumpy road in my life. More so a bumpy road in my relationship. I think if it wasn't for being so bumpy in my relationship, I think I would feel okay. Because other than that, I feel fine. I do feel pretty good about myself. I'm still learning a lot of things about myself. I'm learning to just be able to read negative comments or hear things that people say that's negative and be able to just move on. So I don't allow what people say to affect me. I'm learning how to be able to just be more honest with myself, with who I am, with how I think and how I feel and how I see things. And not just be honest with myself, but be honest with my husband, since he is the closest one to me, who is still a part of Christianity and is having a hard time with me, his wife. I was able to be super duper honest with my best friend, who is still in the ICOC, but she's not your typical ICOCer. And we were best friends before either one of us ever joined the church. So the church does not get any credit in our relationship remaining strong at all. I've been able to be 100% raw and honest with her, and having the support of my best friend and knowing that I can still have people on my side even though we don't see things the same, maybe we don't agree on things. To know that she still supports me is like the best thing ever. So that makes me feel really good. When it comes to my marriage, it's a very slippery slope. There's moments where I think that it's getting better, and I think that he's starting to come around and adjust. And then Sunday comes, and some Sundays is all right. Some Sundays it's okay, but then there's other Sundays where it's like, I don't know about this, you know? So this morning, my husband actually, I asked him if he wanted to go out for breakfast. And he said, well, I got to go to church. I was like, all right. I'm not going to lie. Deep down, I was hoping that he would be like, all right, let's go out. So I was hoping deep down that he would probably be like, oh, all right, I'll go to church next week. But I would never tell him not to go. So I said, all right, we can always go after you come home from church. And he says, or you could just come with me at church. That way, after church, we'll just go straight to the restaurant and go get breakfast together. And my answer was no, I'm not doing that. And the reason why I was able to say it so easily and just not feel like I have to tiptoe around it is because it's been long enough that I've been able to gain the confidence in myself to be able to say, no, I don't want to go to church. No, I don't want to read that. No, I don't want to watch that. And I don't feel like I owe any explanation. I don't feel like I need to feel guilty for it. So he asked me this one question that I found kind of interesting. He said, if you would be willing to do anything for me, why wouldn't you be willing to go to church for me? So then I said, I would not be willing to do anything for you. Whoever said I'd be willing to do anything for you. And I know that sounds harsh, but this is something that I'm learning. And I think that this is something that a lot of women can learn. And I really don't want this video to be long, so I think I might cut this into 2 parts. I no longer try to do everything to make my husband happy, because I spent years doing that, and many times I came out on the other end miserable, unhappy, bitter, resentful, and I don't want to have those negative feelings towards my spouse. So I'm not going to say yes to something I know deep down I don't want to do. I don't see a necessary need for me to spend 2.5 hours Sunday morning in church. So I told my husband, I'm not going to go to church for you. If I go to church, it's going to be for me. I know that bothered him, but my whole thing, which is what I said to my husband, was, look, I can't do this for you the same way I can't become a Christian again for you. I can't read the Bible for you. I can't believe all these things that you believe in for you. Because when am I doing it for me? When am I really sincerely doing it for me? And this is one major thing I'm really learning in my relationship, a lesson that I wish I would have learned years ago. Something that I started finally getting the hang of being able to proudly say, not proudly, but to confidently say no to my own husband when it comes to certain things. Confidently being able to be honest and say, honestly, I love you a lot, but I'm not doing this because it's not right for me to go against what I truly desire and go against what my heart wants and go against what I want for me, Fatina, just to please you or anyone else. This is something I think a lot of women, especially, can definitely try to realize and to learn about themselves. And I know some people are going to take this the totally wrong way. They're going to think, oh, she's becoming rebellious, I'm supposed to submit, blah, blah, blah. But I've never been good at that whole submission thing. I've never been a submitter. I can submit, but I can't be forced, because then it becomes something where I'm doing this because I have to, because this is my role, because I'm a wife, because I said I love you, even though I don't want to do it. If it's something small and simple, those type of little things are different. You do want to see a person you're with happy. But I put a lot of my own happiness to the side in my relationship, especially in religion. And when I was a part of the ICOC, the International Churches of Christ, I learned by a lot of women how to push me to the side and how to push my desires and my wants and my passions and things that I really want to do or say to the side, because I was taught that I needed to make my husband happy, and by doing so, I'd be making God happy because this is what God wants. Not all churches teach this way, but I know if you were a part of the ICOC, you know just as well as I know that they're very big on submission. If you're a married woman who was or is still in the ICOC, you know more than anyone how big they are when it comes to submitting. And I understand the whole submitting. I get it. But when it's taken out of context and it's taken to a point where you become, as a woman, miserable because you feel like, well, do I even have worth? You start to realize that this is an issue, not just in the ICOC, but in a lot of religions and especially in Christianity and in a lot of churches. I always have to reiterate, this does not go for every church and every Christian at all. It doesn't. I understand that. I know this already. But we cannot ignore the facts that this is something that happens in a lot of churches and religions, and especially in cults. I grew up in a single parent household. It was just me and my mom. So I never really got to see what a successful, happy husband and wife looks like. But I always knew I wanted it one day. I always knew I wanted kids one day. When I was growing up, I was taught how to be independent. I was taught all the tools I needed to be an independent woman, to have my own career, to have my own money, to have my own everything. My mom taught me how to stand up for myself, how to be able to say next. If a guy tries to play me, all right, next one, move along. She taught me how to do that. But then I took a lot of detours throughout my life. I ended up stumbling upon the ICOC, and that was where I was very broken down and taught that I cannot be an independent woman. And in the Bible study, I remember two of the women trying to explain to me that everything that I was taught growing up by my mom, I needed to just toss it out the window. Now I need to relearn. They explained it to me like this. You're like a child, like a baby. Everything's a clean slate. Everything that's in your head, you got to wash it out. You have to. And you have to start off new. Start off with this Bible verse. Start off with this chapter. Start off with this book. Come to this class. Come to this session. Come to this service. And I had to relearn how to do everything. I do take away some good things, though, honestly, from the ICOC of like things that I learned when it comes to submitting. I did learn a lot of good things about being a wife, things that I still carry on, but I also learned how to forget about me. And that's one thing that after I left the church, I promised myself I would never, ever do again. I said from this day forward, I will never forget about me. And then as time went on, I promised to myself, I will never say yes when what I truly want to say is no. And that still is kind of hard for me sometimes because it's a lot easier said than done. But as a woman, it's very difficult to grow up in a society, in a world where the majority see you as less. And I'm not into feminism, so don't think this is a whole feminist thing because I really don't care about all that. I'm not into that whole, we got to be equal. Like, I get there are certain things that men might be a little better at or, a little, I don't know. There are things that men could do that women could do too. But I'm fine with kind of keeping certain roles to a certain extent. But a lot of things in my mind change, a lot of ideas and a lot of feelings that I used to have and feel are just not there anymore. And I feel like I'm developing, I'm changing. It's like a whole spiritual growth for me. And only people who have been through that growth would understand what I mean when I say that I see things totally different and I don't see it as a bad thing. The only people that see my differences and how I see things, the only people who see that as bad are those who are still a part of religion or who still believe in the very dogmatic aspects. Those are the people that will see it as a negative thing. And I'm going to do a part 2 where I'm going to get a little bit more into women and religion and submission. Being a woman who learns to say no and learns to love herself and to accept and be real and truthful to herself. Links to everything down below in the description box. That includes my email, my Facebook, and my Instagram, also my website, and my complimentary calls if you feel like you need to talk. I do give one complimentary call where you can give me a call and we can chat it out for a bit, whatever it is you're going through and you feel like you need help with. Thank you so much. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video.